And welcome y'all to Black of the Berry, baby. Oh, yeah. Y'all don't know what happened in pre-production. It was kind of hilarious. Listen, I
Yeah.
am Dean, baby. That
What
over there
up? What
is
up?
the
What up? What up? What
Madman
up? What up?
Los. Maybe
What's
he'll
going
bring
on,
out
man?
Alpo Avocado a little bit later.
Alpo
Listen,
avocado.
oh, Jesus Christ. So we're back, baby.
Yeah.
As we said last week. Now, here, so with that said, we're gonna come back with I think another topic that a conversation that's definitely have been had within our communities, but
Mhm.
I has not truly hit home because of the shit that we still see day in and day out. And I'm not talking about things that we can't change. I'm talking about things that we can change. And this is a topic actually that you brought to the forefront within the chat. So why don't you go ahead and tell the people? Excuse me, bourbon.
Well, I mean, for people, the thing that kind of irritates me about us, us being melanated black people in the United
Oh, you
States.
mean melanated black people? Because you know there's a difference between African Americans and the Trinidad niggas, as Michael B. Jordan found out.
That, let's leave that alone. That you should have known that. You should have did your research on that if you're MBJ. Um,
Right. Well, hey, then
uh,
listen. So then, does Tariq Alik now have a leg to stand on with the Foundation of Black American?
no,
Oh
no,
shit! How
no,
was it? No.
no. We're not. We're gonna get
Oh
into that later. Don't try to
shit!
hijack niggas ideas.
I'm not hijacking anything, baby. I'm just
Nah,
asking questions. That's all. I'm just being a journalist. Being
yeah. Anywho,
a jacked one at that. Look at the guns.
all right. So my point of thing was, why do we glorify the things that we glorify? And what I mean is the negative things that we make lit. Why
Give
do
an
we
example for
spend?
the people.
Okay. Uh, why
Do
do
you
we
mean
listen?
do you mean the way that we degrade our women? Do you mean the way that
Yes,
we have music that directly speaks about violence within our community that the young
absolutely.
people continue to perpetuate? Or do you
Right.
mean that the no snitching culture that has it so that a young girl can be shot and then no one will tell on her, tell on the killer because they want no snitching or they want something called street justice, and a lot of times that doesn't even happen? Or do you mean the fact that for some reason we will litter within our own communities, but then if we go to the white man's community, we won't litter because it's a preconditioned notion to love them more than we love our own damn selves? Do you mean that, or what do you mean? I'm sorry.
I mean, all of those are contributors to the angle that I was trying to present. So thank you for supporting that, Dean. And
Sure.
and all of that is basically what I was trying to get
But I
to.
know that there's a lot more you want to add on there. I'm
What,
just giving the
but
basics. The gang
those are
culture.
yeah, that's the roots right there. That's the roots.
Right.
And it spreads out to all different facets, different things. Because not only that, because those things, those stigmas become real, right? And then the media contributes to the recycling almost because of they know this is a thing. They know this is a thing. Not to say it applies or not, but what they're going to do is continue to show you that, continue to perpetuate that in front of you, so that you always get trained and kind of, even if you don't even notice it, you're a victim to the subconscious marketing. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna see it and then you're gonna start thinking, even though you don't think it applies, you're gonna start thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? So that is also a contributor too. You know what I mean? And they've been doing that for years. You know what I'm saying? With the creation of you know
Right.
and just pinning us together, and then this is just the total and utter disenfranchisement. You know what I'm saying? Because I've never seen someone who can literally say they can control where you live, how much you, where you work, how much like you get paid. Like
What do you and when you say them, who do you mean? What do you mean?
I don't really know exactly who it is. That's why I say that, because it's a very like
Do you mean the powers that be? Like, so
yeah, the
this
powers
is
that
my
be
question, because so then
that
at
are
this
white.
point, okay, the powers that be that are white. So are we? So now we're just talking about complete black disenfranchisement. We're not talking about We're not talking about the class system, or is that coming into play within this conversation now too? Because when
It
you
is
say the
too. It
powers
is
that be in
because
that sense,
it's because it's both. It's both
mhm.
because not
Well, what's
only
the difference? Here's the question. Nope, I already answered my own question, so I don't even
good
ask it.
job, good job.
Mhm.
but uh, but what I'm saying is like it's both because obviously they do things for one motive, and then they always have another motive. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
at least if I was well off, you could hate me just for being black. You know what I
Right.
mean? You can't hate me for being black and broke, and I'm a welfare baby now. All there's other things that it's like other appliers that they add on to your shit. Like if you was just black, okay, I'm a nigga. Okay, cool. All
Well,
right, but if I'm black and I'm broke, then it's all this other shit. He probably has six
right.
baby mamas. He probably da 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 da.
Well,
All
well,
this.
here's the thing. Here's the thing that comes into play. I think ultimately a lot of times with this is that we have to take more ownership within our own communities. And what I mean by that is, besides actual physical ownership, it comes down to the education of the youth. You got to get the youth, because if you get the youth, then you can get everything going within the right direction. So what I mean by that is, we need to be more active within the school boards. You need to be more active with what your kids are being taught with and not being taught. What are the
Yeah.
electives
Yeah.
that are being offered? What is being taught within economics? What is being taught within policy and government?
Mhm.
How are they teaching the youth to become productive members of society and understand how to take advantage
Well,
of
they're not.
everything?
They're not doing that.
Well, hold on, but this is the conversation that we're having. We're trying to tell them what they need to for the reasons this being. And here is one. There are So Justin has a friend who is married to a woman who actually, she's a Section 8 housing representative, like
Okay.
a caseworker and stuff like that.
Okay.
Besides Section 8, there just are a
Difficult job.
lot of, yeah, there are a lot of programs that are out there for
Hmm.
people to get grants, for people to get help, people to get
Assistance.
assistance,
Period.
but not only just in the sense of like what you may believe is just of housing, or what you may believe is just getting food stamps, something like that, but in the sense of buying a home, in the sense of
Right.
starting a business. So what we need to do is, we understand now that we are in a position that we need to give back to the youth, and then also give back to people. So we need to start within the community. Those of us who know need to put people on, show people within the right direction. Understand that everybody's not going to take advantage of it, but that, I believe, is going to be step one within this whole equation of things.
Hmm.
You understand what I mean? We have to stop saying what the white man did or what the white man has going on, because guess what, we have to have a battle on two fronts, and we've had conversations about this before. You got to listen. There have been multiple wars fought on multiple fronts, and this is going to be one that has to happen. We're going to have to go after the actual structure of society, but then we're going to have to educate our youth to be able to take advantage of what society currently has to offer, so that we can better ourselves. Like, I wonder how many people understood that they have first-time homeowner loans programs for people. They have
Hmm.
programs that'll help you get your credit together for stuff like that.
FHAs. You know what I
They
mean?
have There's a lot of things, you know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
and then they also have small business loans. If you're going to be
Not the
starting up a
PPP
business,
though. Not that PPP shit.
no, not the PPP. And shout out to everyone who was smart enough to avoid that bullshit. Now,
Hmm.
who wasn't a part of a small business out there just scamming people. But you understand what I mean? We have to go out there and educate ourselves, so that way we can
And,
set a
and
better
but
example for the ones coming behind us.
here's and I agree with you, and I think that we kind of hinted to this notion before,
Sure.
last episode when we were talking about protecting the kids, and it's like the fact that they're not being taught what they need to be taught, the fact that there is a problem with the critical race theory, and then why they can't learn what they need to learn, and even with all of that, there's still life experience stuff that they're still not being taught.
Mm.
The history is very important as well, but there's still the life practices that they need to know, and financial practices that they need to know, they're not being taught. So we're not teaching literacy, we're not teaching advancement for the kids. Number one. Number two, to your point, I think that we need a little more um like accountability in
Yeah,
term
yeah,
in term
fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
in terms of
Fuck yeah.
self,
You want
and
to
in
get in that
terms of
conversation? Let's do it.
like like group. Because I will say this,
Yeah.
we do have to, because we're talking about history, so we do have to speak about what the white man did in the sense, because it still affects us, yes, but we got to also understand that that is not a crutch for us to play the sick role. You know what I mean? And be like, oh,
Yes.
because the white man has his boot on me, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. That means nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because just because this system's not made for us doesn't mean you can't figure your little nook and cranny and your little alley where you can find your success at. Whatever what your definition is. You know what I'm saying? There's billions of people who have done that. You know what I'm saying? And why do you think like yes, the people that we glorify are like the people who do drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? People we admire Jay-Z because he went from the street to the office. You know what I'm saying? We admire those guys. So it's like
Well then on that same token, we admire guys like that, but then we also still admire guys within the street. Look at what they're rapping. That's something else. So that's since you want to talk about accountability, let's get into that. It
right,
comes down to
absolutely.
media and then what we are allowing. Here's the issue. People like us, right? We're adults now. When we listen to certain things, we understand where it's at. And don't get me wrong, were we listening to certain things when we were younger? Of course we were. But that doesn't make it
Absolutely.
right. It's because we
Yeah.
were doing it. You know what I mean? So us being able to make informed decisions now. So when we listen to this music, we're able to put it where it's at. We understand that this is theater for most of these guys. Most of these
Mhm.
guys haven't really popped off shit. Are there some of them who have done it? Absolutely. But most of them are perpetuating a lifestyle that we in society within the black community
Don't
have
need.
allowed to be perpetuated because we continue to feed into it. So
Mhm.
what I'm saying is that what needs to truthfully happen is that you got to check that shit. You got to understand what your kid is putting within them. Like we've had conversations about this before, but there is no reason that we don't have more positive and conscious rappers that are really getting over. Like back in the old days when it originally came out, it was just about rhyming and scheming. You know what I mean? And then talking truth to power. But what has happened is we've let these record companies, who are
Mhm.
white majority owned, they are
Right.
now dictating what our culture
And what
likes
they
and
want to hear.
dislikes.
What exactly?
Absolutely on the mainstream airways. And that
How
in
was
and
Jimmy
itself,
Iovine going to know what we want to hear?
well, I guess he does because look at how many platinum recording artists that they have
No, he
released.
knows the business. Doesn't
Well,
know, you know. But
it's
but
still some
but
talent doing something. You know, the people
my
out
thing
there are still
is,
consuming it at a large
but
degree.
of course, and to my thing, to kind of combat, I do side with you in a sense, but I also have another split thought. Is
Okay,
in terms of the music, in terms of gangster rap, the genre itself, right?
sure,
Which and all the spawns, grime, all the other music that came about from that.
of course,
And the original essence of it was street stories, shit that we could relate to.
right.
Today Was a Good Day is one of the best songs ever. And that was a normal ass day. But to some, they can never imagine that day would be they couldn't survive a day
Here's the issue
in
within the
that.
black community, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to cut you off in this, but then because you're speaking right into my point, and I got to get it. I'm sorry, but here's the issue within the black community: there is no dual side to that. So where is the regular degular, opposite to Today Was a Good Day? And what I mean by that is what you very rarely have two artists that are out at the same time. You can have one speaking about street shit, yada yada yada, but then do they really ever rarely have a counterpart for regular degular dudes who just
Yeah,
do regular degular things? Who
there's a lot of people, but it's not
who
mainstream
no,
because it's conscious. They label it
then
conscious.
then you answer my question. Like that's the
Chance the
issue right
Rapper is a
then.
regular dude.
How popular truthfully is Chance the Rapper
He's pretty big.
within the music game?
He's pretty big.
Is he transcending shit? Is he
Not
moving
yet.
shit? He's been out for a little bit, right?
A little bit,
He's had
but
this theme for a little bit, right?
a little bit.
That's what I'm trying to say. There is very rare that you're gonna have two, because the issue is that we as black people are not monolithic people, but the content we consume makes us seem monolithic.
hmm
You understand? And then
Yeah.
that's the content that is put out there that everyone else is consuming. That's the reason that we have so many issues, that when you have people within the black community doing something that doesn't necessarily align with what is the larger black culture, you're labeled as something obnoxious and ridiculous as an Oreo, or they say you're acting white or you're doing something crazy.
Speak
This
to
is
that.
the issue. But this is to my
But
point.
what's the black standard though? What is it? What's the unwritten, unknown code to
Does
all black
any
people?
other race have that? Does any other race have some unwritten code that says, "Oh, you're
I
not this,
I
you're
think it
not that."
does, and I think that it kind of branches. Some part of it branches off of
Listen,
colorism.
some people may get mad and abrasive with people. For instance, like I have friends who will say, "Fucking Cuomo's not Italian," just because they don't like him because of everything he's saying. But they're just being fucking
That's
facetious.
right.
They don't really have a. But it's different. Like
But
within the black
that's what I'm saying.
community, it'll really stick with you. They're just saying it to be assholes. It's a difference. Within the black community, it comes from a real, true place. They're just saying it to be dickheads. Why is it? Why are we the only ones who would? We're the only ones who look for reasons to excommunicate one of ourselves.
Yeah, that's true. Or
But then
bashing,
I guess
yeah.
that could be answered when we
And
go back to
and
our slave roots.
and
Back in slavery, when you have people snitching, getting people killed. So I guess maybe that's why
I,
we have
I
we
don't
have
know.
that
I think
disdain.
it's just to be up on somebody. I think we live for that sometimes. You know what I mean? Like we're always pinned against each other, or we pin ourselves against each other. That we always want the one up. You know what I mean? So if I have enough power to and end this dude's whole day, like socially, you know what I mean? Like you don't
Only
think it's a
socially, but then,
social offense?
huh? But then you know what? I have to think that, especially when you think back to slavery, there has to be something deep rooted within us. Maybe that is a reason that we're so quick to be like, "You're not one of us." Because, for instance, there's no way Candace Owens is one of us. I don't care what anyone says. The stuff that she repeatedly says about us, and the way that you never hear her ever at any point in time come to the defense of black people. If the shit was hitting the fan, I couldn't support her at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're a black woman, I understand that, but that doesn't take away the fact that you ain't shit. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And then if these were back in those terrible times, she would absolutely be snitching.
Oh yeah.
You see what I mean? So I guess that I guess that answers my question, because there's something just deep rooted within us. I guess a survival instinct, we may call it. But then we do need to tame it, because somebody acting like Candace Owens, obviously, because everything about you is anti-black. You use your blackness to get into the dominant society so that they accept you. But then you also use your blackness to weaponize it against black people so that they continue to accept you because you're their fucking dog.
Right.
Candace Owens. So,
I mean, obviously, I won't step aside. I'll step aside always for Candace Owens bashing. But truthfully, because I feel like that's definitely how she got her real claim to fame. But
I don't even think I was disparaging this time. I was just really telling the truth.
I mean, there was the truth, but some may say some may say, "Oh, Dean bashed Candace Owens." I don't think he bashed Candace Owens.
No,
I think Dean was telling the truth.
Right.
Nonetheless,
I'm trying to grow.
I just feel like
not really.
Another thing's like we just like, why do we glorify things? Why is it like being hard and being like tough is like a thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that a thing? Like, why internet thugs, which wasn't a thing? Why is that hot? Like, you gotta think about it. Like, because of this insecurity,
thugs are only glorified by these fucking hood bitches. And then these hood bitches realize these thugs ain't shit. Like, to be honest with you, anyone who's still glorifying thugs at this point in time is a fucking
bro. But
they're fucking R-worded.
But listen, to the point where everybody wants to be tough though. On the internet, keyboard mashing.
Well, that's just a cultural issue, and
you know what I'm saying. But for what though? Like, there's one thing's being a troll, but then there's one thing that's like you're really an internet thug.
Because they can't in real life, Los. That's why. And then that transcends black, white, Spanish, or Asian. A lot of these people are truthfully sad. They won't even do what we're doing and come on here and stand by their opinions. We're putting their face out here. No.
Right.
What they have to do is stand by the keyboard to make someone else feel as insecure as them. And I refuse to let these people win that. Because you know what? These people will say whatever they want to online. Say, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that.
And be catfishing.
But you could be anyone in the world. So I'm not going to believe you. And some of them just get off on the fact that they just want to be negative. But let me tell you something, sweetheart. I was born in the motherfucking darkness. You have no idea.
all right.
My
Bane.
fucking moral. Fuck that, Bane. You have no idea the moral compass. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, truthfully, I don't give a damn about you people. Because to be honest with you, the reason that they sit there behind their keyboards is because of their failures and their losers in life. That's why. You sit there online and you continue to bash people, and then you don't even. The issue is that you won't even make a coherent argument on the reason why. You'll just stick to your guns, even when someone's conceding and say, "Okay, you got a good point there." But here, what about this? You just divert it. And then you try to get the rest of your little internet trolls all together because the rest of you are a bunch of losers, bunch of rejects from society that get together, the fucking 3-5% who goes online and yells about shit that they themselves they truthfully don't even give a damn about. That's the issue. There's a power in bitch ass numbers. And that's what they realize. They're like, oh my God, there are millions of other bitch ass motherfuckers. And most of the time, what happens, most real motherfuckers are just like, I don't got the time for it. But unfortunately, my profession means I got time for you.
True with that. And let's spin off to back to another point we mentioned before, which is the glorification why the whole thug thing, right? Let's put it in reverse real quick.
Media, music.
Well, that. But I just feel like, why is it cool to be, you know, like the dude that doesn't try, the nonchalant dude, and it's like that stigma. It's like in schools,
Power.
in life, like it's always like you always want to be the nonchalant, cool dude who's not even trying, and the cool guy. You know what I mean? And then the nerd, quote unquote, or the geeks are clowned on because they're smart. You know what I'm saying?
See,
Like,
now that's the funny thing. So, the school I came from, Hempstead, which a lot of people know, no one got clowned for being smart. That never happened at my school, no matter how old like you were growing up.
that definitely happened at your school.
Clown for being smart? How
Yeah,
could you say that happened? You weren't there. No one got clown for being smart in Hempstead.
niggas got clowns.
No, for being smart? No, you may
For
get
being
clown for what you're wearing.
like what people call them nerd. By you saying a nerd, that's you know.
That's the and that's what I mean. That shit, I'm telling you without a shadow of a fucking doubt, did not happen in fucking Hempstead. There was a lot of other things happening in Hempstead, but you being bullied for being intelligent, never. You were actually looked at in some kind of fucking awe. We actually had a fucking a Gates scholarship in our school. You think somebody bothered her because she was smart, because she got a 7-year, she has 7 years of her college degree paid for? Hell no.
Right.
Everybody from the fucking gang members, from the fucking regular kids to the athletes were like, good for you. So that's what I mean. So that never happened within my school. What would happen is that people within rough situations, you look at the thugs, or you look at the gang members, whatever the case may be, and you see that they're they have materialistic things that you yourself have been deprived of, your family has been deprived of, and truthfully, most of them get into it for noble reasons. They just want to provide in a meaningful way. And then what happens is once they get in there, the streets get a hold of them. Then they become a whole different kind of monster and a beast.
Yes.
But it all starts with this materialism, and certain people are afforded the opportunity to be able to just work a part-time gig after school, making a couple dollars. When certain people, and this is how it goes, they barely got food on the table. Some of these kids, the only time that they eat is when they come to school. Some of them haven't even washed or showered in 2 or 3 days. Now, this is real life. This is facts.
Bro, I didn't seen it. I didn't seen people the streets turn into a monster for real. Like normal dudes, you kick it with them, know them. They start dabbling in that streets, get into that real clientele, that fast money. It's a whole different lifestyle, whole different trajectory, whole different person almost.
Facts. But then they have to. But then hey, listen, if you're in it, I guess you got to be in it. But then here's the thing, though. Just because at the end of the day, that's why I'm saying going back to education, we have to make sure that there's certain programs, certain things out there that people know that they can take advantage of, and then also to have even better. You have to expand on some of the programs that we do have, in the sense of making sure these kids aren't going out here making decisions when they're all just fucking hungry. And something else, because we have $54 billion that has been wasted within the U.S. government budget alone, and that's just at a quick glance. Imagine what that money could do properly redistributed. You see what I mean? Like but hey, we have to teach our kids true interaction with policy and government, really truly teach them economics, group economics, so that way that we can start to move forward. That's what I mean. It goes back to the education, but then also us taking the ownership within our communities, even because guess what? Yeah, the kids may not, the same way that the kids don't know, the adults don't know, but the adults understand that they need to learn it. So you have to go out there and start to educate yourselves. They got libraries. We have the internet. Hey, even when you have kids in school, you can even have you can start looking at some of your kids' school books, or even at the parent teacher conference, start asking teachers certain things and sending them emails. You always have the emails and say, hey, listen, just about this theory or something like that. Whatever the case may be, phrase it the way and ask it, say like, hey, the kid keeps asking this, and I just want to be able to cover it. I don't know how you want to do it. But there's a ways if you want to do it that we can that we can. Because guess what? This is a multi-war front. And the reason why the civil rights movement was the reason it was able to happen is because they fought it on multiple fronts. They had black businesses that they were able to just frequent because obviously they had no other choice, but they were able to keep their dollars there. They also were able to help support one another when people were going, like, getting locked up. Unfortunately, they were able to get easily bail money together within the community to get them out. It was a true sense of ownership, but then also too, they understand how to interact within their government. They understand they need the aldermen within their community. They need to have certain political positions, vote in certain ways. You understand they weaponized it fully on all fronts that they could. That's why they had got, and then also too, they had the ear of the media, and then the true plight. That's why they were able to move the way they did because they attacked it on multiple fronts. We cannot continue to just have this same song and pony dance. We have to elevate the game, and then doing that, us that know we have to educate ourselves, start educating more people.
Do you think that like a civil union in like communities would help? Like not civil union, but civic associations and stuff like civic organizations would help in like communities.
Depending, but then you know what? A lot of them already have that. A lot of them, like, you know what I mean? Go down to your town board, see all the different
Mm.
organizations that they have going on. Truly be like, go to your town meetings.
I mean,
Even
for like black people though, like for us specifically,
most of
because
our community,
then
most of our communities
it's
are black. So what do you? So listen. In most black communities, everyone has 100 man, like the hundred black man, like chapter. Everyone mostly has NAACP, or it's not far from another black community that isn't far from you. You know what I mean? There are a whole bunch of organizations that we already have that, like I say, we need to take advantage of, and people need to educate themselves further on. It's not always about creating something new. Maximize what we already have. That's the
no, I
issue.
know, I understand that, but I feel like we have a lot of people who are moving like this and sometimes moving parallel to each other don't even know. And I think that we have just, if we were able to just, coincide and kind of just hone in, then we could, it's different. It's different than 10 people spending their money different ways if we have 10 people spending their money on the same thing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's how I felt. And I felt like it's just a little bit easier because then if I come in with if it's me saying I want to buy a group of homes, they may be like, all right, cool. But if it's 10 of us,
right.
then it's different. It's easier. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of thing that I want to admire to grow myself is that kind of thing. But yeah, man, I kind of want to speak to the terrors. You know what I mean? Because I feel like in I wasn't as blessed to go to a school like that, like Hempstead, where everybody was appreciative of and the blackness was real. I think with Hempstead, I feel like, I mean, they like everybody owned it, and it was like a real thing, like it was kind of like a unity kind of thing. I think
It was only black and Spanish kids within Hempstead, and then even the dark skinned Spanish kids, and most of the Spanish kids, especially they're from Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, anywhere from like goddamn, like Latin America, shit like that. They kind of understood, like it was understood that everything comes from black. The lineage, you understand about the slave trade and how everything goes and how everyone intermingled. So you understand how the bloodline goes. So everyone, and then even if they weren't or they came from like a little more of a Spaniard background, they understood what the struggle was altogether. So they understood our history and we learned their history too.
yeah, and we definitely had some of that in Longwood because we had a bunch of Dominicans, a bunch of Spanish people in general. We had like a bunch of Asians, Indians, all that. We had everything. It was fucking mixing pot. You know what I'm saying? But I think that we had those social um like just stigmas that we had against our own, where we were like, oh, you like if you talk proper, you talking white, you acting white, you doing this white. You know what I mean? And of course your boy got that because I had the crossover appeal. You know what I mean? I was able to have friends of different colors, and I've been in different places, and I
As you
don't,
should.
and I
What
wasn't
life's
I
about.
wasn't doing this. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, for me, like I lived in the hood, but I wasn't in the streets. So it's like
Of
it's crazy
course.
when because people will see me and know, and they were always trying to be like, "Yo, what's up? What you trying to do?" Da, da, da. And I'll just be like, "Listen,
Ain't trying to do nothing, bro. I'm just minding
it's
my
not for
fucking
me. It's
business.
not for me. It's not for me." You know what I mean? So I feel like it's sometimes it's hard, bro, for them little black boys in them ghettos, man, to balance that line of trying to do right, and the streets is right there, especially living in it. You see it every day. You know what I mean? Like it's hard not to succumb to that shit. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then sometimes too, it's like, yo, like everybody's pulling it against you. You know what I'm saying? The media telling you you ain't shit. You know what I mean? You fucking with your girl, she telling you ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Like your
For
homies
the
is
record,
dying.
though, sometimes niggas ain't shit.
Right. I get that. Like I understand you ain't shit, but I'm saying, but everybody's pointed at you. Like you got all these pressures coming from like how you said we're being attacked on a multiple facet different war. This is how it is, and this is the everyday life. Sometimes
Pressure builds diamonds or burst pipes.
you're absolutely right, and I
That's what it
believe
comes
in and
down
I
to.
believe in the Darwinism myself. You know what I'm saying?
Because
Survival of the littest.
and what I mean is like because you unfortunately I understand what you're saying, and that's why we
Why is that
in the
unfortunate?
community. No, I'm saying unfortunately. No, I'm saying unfortunately. I understand what you're saying because we live in a society that's really this fucked up. That's what I'm saying. The society is this fucked up that I have to fucking agree that hey, shit is going all the way it's going, but we have to. How I'm saying, how should I say this? We have to accept mental health more, so that way more people
Yeah,
can then
yeah.
become
Why is
open
that a
up.
thing? Why is that a
Hold
thing?
on. Give me a second, so that way I can finish my point of why I said the way it came out. So we have to have mental health, so that way people can go out there and express themselves. Because ultimately, the shit's not going to change. So you have to be able to deal with all that, then know where to express yourself, how to express yourself, learn how to express yourself. So that way you're not just trapped building up within all this fucked up shit and losing your mind, because at the end of the day, it's not going anywhere until we change it. But if we continue to allow these pressures to throw us off game and not continue the mission steadfast and forth, then we're fucked. That's why I said, unfortunately, I have to agree with you. This is fucked.
Mm.
But niggas got to get over it. And you got to keep moving forward to get the mission done. Because if you don't, and then you just sit there and just like, oh, this sucks, that sucks, this sucks, that sucks. Well, it's gonna keep sucking until somebody does something about it. And no one gives a damn until someone else does something. And why doesn't that one be you? That's the question.
And you know what? I like that take. I like that take, and I think that like why can't it? And I like why like we we are the most like pinned down, oppressed, self-inflicting people out there. You know what I'm saying? And it's like if we only know what we did in past lives, what we can do, what we're capable of. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen the meme of? I think I might be said this before. I feel deja vu of me saying this, but it's a table on the backs of black people, and it's like a board game, right? And around it, there's just men sitting around in suits playing a game on the back of like four different brothers, right? And I'm thinking about it like, yo, this is the depiction of the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because this is built on our backs, and then this is to them it's just a fucking game. It's a one big simulation. You know what I'm saying? One big algorithm. You know what I'm saying? So, and they're playing with people's lives over an algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
So, to them is we don't realize that we are the table. We the one that we are the laborers. We built this whole shit. If we just get up and stand up, the game is over. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's so hard for us to do that because media, brainwashes us, preconditions us. You know what I'm saying? We're not educating ourselves to break that hold, to think with that higher intuition, to be more than the statistic. It's hard. You know how fucking hard it is?
Yeah, look at me, motherfucker. We come from the same place. Hell yeah, I know how hard it is. But
No,
guess what?
I'm not talking to you when I say that.
No, I know. But I'm just saying that we have to
get to listen, to get to.
We got to stop feeling sorry for ourselves. We got to do what we got to do.
I understand. I'm not feeling sorry for myself.
Time is not moving. I'm not talking. Time is not like when I say time is not moving. Time is not stopping.
Right.
Nothing is stopping. Oh, we need to advance as a people within this American society to truly get what we want. But us continuing to have perpetuating the same song and dance, doing the same thing over and over again is getting us nowhere. That's what I mean. We as the people need to get out. Like, come on.
But here's the thing, though. I will say this. I will be remiss if I didn't say this.
Sure.
I think that in terms of fiscally and politically and obviously entertainers, that's a given. So I don't even want to think about that. We already kind of dominate.
We're not winning fiscally. We're not winning politically.
I'm not saying we're winning, but I'm saying we're trending upwards in the last couple of years in terms of more business owners, more people, who have successful, more CEOs, more people in power, more judges, more, these last couple of years, we've been seeing a big push of, people that look like us. So I definitely say it's getting there. And I think that things are kind of reverting back to itself. You know what I'm saying? Like things that like we are kind of breaking the mold because of we saw what we just did. You know what I mean? A little bit. Yes, like the rioting and the protesting was, the balance beam of how to really demonstrate. But it's like we did it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that gave them a sense of like, okay, shit's a little different. Yeah, we protest, but there always been protests, and protests is like a big thing. Like you remember when people protest, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a big demonstration. And there's a reason why. That's really what the whole thing is. But my point is that they're starting to wake up and know that we're not, the same people who are going to lay down and but I will say we also have to combat the thing of take the money and then just quiet down. No, you definitely need to keep your foot on the neck, keep the pressure up. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said,
hold on. I'm not about to let you go off like that. You believe that?
Go for one.
You believe that they think we're about business? You think that?
Huh?
You just said that. You just said that. Hey, like you think that they're starting to wake up, the people. And
yeah.
You mean like white people, the man, right? Those in power. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
Never. They just gave us some bullshit Juneteenth, which don't get me wrong, I'm not calling it bullshit. No, this is what I mean. You gave us this holiday, but damn it, what did the Asian folks get when they just showed? All they showed was about, I don't know, a month or 2 months and a half of attacks, and they showed the spike of attacks. I'm not minimizing it. I'm just stating it was maybe 6 months. I don't know, maybe about 6 months. Could be a year. I forget. Actually, no, I'm lying. For the length of COVID, so about a year. That's when they got that.
There's more attacks than that.
No. I'm talking about when.
Oh, you're focusing on that point. Okay.
When they got put on mainstream,
right?
They showed the upward trend about coronavirus happened. Motherfuckers were going after Asian people. We got to put a stop to this at the federal level. That's what they did for that group of people, right?
Yeah.
We're on our third anti-lynching bill that is still held up. So excuse me if I just couldn't let you go off and say these people in power respect us, because I refuse.
No, I didn't say that.
No. Excuse me, not respect us. Even start to take us seriously, because I don't think that they really are.
I don't think they're taking seriously because there's so many. They got so many like you said, so many different foots on their neck and so many different ways. You know what I mean? So obviously they're not. But I think that they know that there is a little shift in the change. What I'm saying is that because of the new wave of, you know, policymakers and business owners, you know what I'm saying, with that new push, we now have somewhat of a more pull, you know what I mean, that we have. So that's what I was trying to say. It's like, you know, and then they see that, okay, this younger generation is like, they're going to be the ones that if something is done, it's going to be these people right here. You know what I'm saying? So I think that in a sense, they don't really know the real potential of like the Gen Zs, the millennials, maybe some, you know, some older Gen X's, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So, um, you know, that's what I was saying. Like, it's
Mhm.
just like, there you see a shift happening, and I think that we're kind of reverting back to ourselves, and like shit that is like beneficial to us is now becoming more fashionable again. You see people going natural again. You see all these things, people being more self-sufficient now because of COVID. Had to teach them. Hey, you had to teach yourself how to be
Didn't this
self-sufficient.
happen in the '80s too?
In a sense, yeah, it was like this Afrocentric like re-emergent. You know what I mean? This resurge of this, and I'm obviously
Was it the
about it.
'70s too?
'70s about it too. Everything, you know, everything was everything, and that's why I kind of want that, but it's not fully gotten there yet. It's not fully gotten there yet, but it's definitely there as a subculture. You know what I mean? Where people are just like all black everything and just love positive and just about being you know, as successful as they are, and owning their blackness and just being and living in it and fucking uniting people through that, and then just loving people in general, because that's how I feel like we are. Like, you know what I mean, our love transcends race, you know what I'm saying, and that's what people don't really get. You know what I'm saying, that we've always been perpetuated as this big ass bear, and it's like, we love people, man. Like, you know what I mean, you ever had, like, look, you used to trust your fucking little babies with us, you know what I'm saying, and it's like, if we were so not considered an animal and did all this, why is our, you know, why is Mammy teaching little Susie how to do all this? If she's not supposed to know how to do all this, and she's not even human, and she's a beast, and she got big lips and all, oh come on, all this shit. We watching your kids though. That don't make no
Listen,
sense.
well, you know, hey, listen, that's the society. I don't know. I just, you know,
That's what I feel like to me. I feel like I did want to give us some kind of small rejoice, because I feel like it is. I do notice it.
what
Like,
rejoiced? We don't even have any law that protects our brothers and sisters who have Nubian locks in the state of New York, let alone federally,
I mean,
if
I'm
they're
talking about
at work.
the idea,
We don't
the
even have
ideas.
something as small as that. That's what I'm trying to say.
We
But then
don't.
they can
We
come to
don't.
work in man buns for
We
men,
don't.
or women. They can come. This is what I guess to me.
I'm talking about the ideology of it, though. I get that we are still screwed, you know, by the law, by the laws, and we're definitely screwed against a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? That is it's but that's another thing too. Is like there's stigmas, and all that shit is based off stigmas. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Because
what I'm saying is
what the fuck, we talked about this. What is unkept? What is kept?
we need
We got
we
different hair
need
follicles.
we need to truthfully infiltrate. We need to get more people everywhere. That's what it means. That's what I'm saying. And, and us black people, not monolithic, is have to understand that everyone has a role to play. So we need to be pushing everyone to get in all facets of business, government, as a worker, as a boss, so that way true change that we need as a culture to move forward,
Yeah,
we can
that's what I'm
do.
saying.
But well, that's what we both been saying this whole fucking episode. But the issue is that we won't, because we're blinded by the small
Some of
things.
us are.
I think the majority of us are.
Yeah, I would say most
I
actually.
think I think that's the reason that someone like Joseph Biden was even able to be elected, because we as a black community were largely behind him for some reason. That should not have been the case.
Because we already deemed that we rocked with him.
But we should have had, and we should have been supporting to Biden,
And can we get back to this
who would
though?
have been for us. We don't leverage any, like we just have no leverage.
Can we
Because
can
you want to know why we have no leverage? Because we have no one that's really actively looking at what's going on. and truthfully trying to dissect it. They just take everything for face value that they read on
Well,
whatever
that
news
well,
station that
I
they
mean,
believe.
we live in the world of face value. But I want to get back to that stigma about. I'm sorry to use the word stigma so many times, but I just think there no other words to describe these things. Um, we should get like a word counter of how many times I fucking said that shit. Um, but this this general blackness like community like guidelines protocol. What like there is a unwritten written official rules to blackness, is it not?
Yeah, I guess to a degree, but then yeah, like
Because
certain
you don't want to like
well, yeah. Because you know what, there is because every black person has certain shared experiences, no matter what. Just because like, and then excuse me, I'm sorry for saying like people so much back to back in that the sentence, but you and I spoke about certain things in regards to you know trash bags or a
hmm
pot or you see a meme. So yeah, I see what you mean by that.
hmm
You're like,
hmm
everybody remembers this cup. How it just never got clean, no matter how much you cleaned it. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
that kind of meme or just certain shit like that. I get it.
Yeah, and it's just like that shit like eats at people, and it's like it it never like there's so many of those different like knocks, but what
Right.
is what is the real, who is it, who's in control, who is it, who's the chairman or chairwoman of this freaking board? Because because if you did something right now, right, and
Sure.
the public eye, the black public eye was like, that's white people shit.
We would know what he means. Yeah, you're right. There is a
You
general.
know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That what
None of us thought the DC sniper was gonna be black, and we were
none
like,
of us.
"What?
None of us.
Two
None
of
of us.
them? And a Muslim? Wow, that's
I was
crazy."
like, okay.
That was like weird. I was like, "What? What?"
Yeah, we still school shooters are still uncharted for us though. Let's keep it that way. Um, I just
Okay.
I just I just feel like there is like some hidden community that governs socially, I guess, and almost economically because through social, influence and pull, that they guide us or misguide us.
Who you talking about? The
And it's,
talented 10? We're getting into that theory.
I mean,
I think
could
we
it
should save
be?
that for an episode. I don't think that we should get into the talented 10 right now.
You know what I'm saying?
Get into the
That's taking it
talented
back.
10.
Most people don't even know who the talented or
No, no,
how
no,
they
no,
came about.
no. I really think that we should actually have an episode on that.
That'd
Have an
be a good
episode on
episode.
them. Have an episode on the bootleg. No, I think that should be our next week episode. Let's have that as a follow up to this.
I like that.
Let's do that.
I like
Listen
that.
here, people. You got to come back for next week, and you want to know why?
I like that.
We're gonna talk about
I
some
know
shit.
I like this theme, you know what I'm saying? Because it's getting back to people is owning the blackness is what I'm trying to say. And for all those people who, are mixed and all that shit, you are black too. You know what I'm saying? Just come home. We gonna accept you either way. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it
But
is.
then can you
Unless
ask? But then can you ask those people? Like, of course they're black, but then they're also something else too. They have two heritage,
okay, but
and you
some
let
people
them.
what do you
Sure.
identify? And sometimes if you mix with white,
Well, I'm
so
not mixed. I'm black, so I don't. It's
I'm
easy for
not
me.
talking to you. I'm just saying, what do they identify as? And sometimes you would say at this point, what does the court see him as? Because sometimes that's very important. If you're a black
Very.
man,
Yeah, I understand. If you look black, and you are black. No, I get you, but I'm just saying that there's like that. I'm sorry, people for saying like that in itself is a whole dichotomy
of
that
course.
I would love to have interracial, an interracial person, or biracial person on the show to talk about, because that's not because you and I, of course, we're looking at it from the outside looking in, and then we obviously can see and say, oh, well, this is what they most likely got to deal with, but we don't know truthfully, what does it mean for somebody? Let's say if they're black and white, they're not white enough and they're not black enough. What happens to those folks? You see what I mean?
That hidden ambient, like where's your mold? Where is your group? Where's your identity? Where's your, you know what I mean, which ones
I don't
you
know, but it
favor?
sounds like to me that we're giving away a lot of episode themes and ideas, and I don't think we need to
Nah,
be.
it's all right
Still
because
listening.
these are things that people normally would think about, but they come here to listen to our opinions and our thoughts, so it's all
Of
right,
course, but we
you
can't give
know.
them everything that they're about to get. We got to make sure to keep coming
No,
back and
no,
listen here,
but
people.
what I wanted to say was that I like the theme that we're going with though, because if we talked about protecting the kids last episode. This time we're talking about the different stigmas and the different paradigms that we have, our plights against us. You
Sure,
know what I mean, and accountability that we must take, and things we must do moving forward.
absolutely.
And then we get into a little bit of history stuff with the Talented Ten and the boot and what was it? What is
Boule,
it?
that's a
The
whole
Boule, yeah, the
different
Boule, yeah,
topic.
yeah,
Ooh,
yeah, 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 yeah. And that's
yeah.
funny because I love how when I think of the Boule, yeah, that's not the first thought, but I think of the Freaknik uh cartoon that T Pain did.
Really,
Just because it was funny, just because I know the Boule is other shit, but I think of
I got you. You
it
just
was like,
associate that with some
yeah,
divine
it
nine
was
shit.
like Oprah and like Al Roker and shit. Al Roker was in the Boule.
Jesus
They
Christ.
called him the Perminator.
Okay, we're definitely gonna have to bring that for the people next week.
Yeah, bro, that shit that shit is jokes.
Well, listen here, people. This has been one hell of a ride. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe this.
Gang
If you
gang.
like it, give us the 5 stars. Make sure you tell all your friends to listen to it. Make sure you share this bad
Back,
boy
baby.
around.
Back.
And make sure you come back next week because we're going to be covering the Talented 10 as well as the Bootleg. That's obviously going to be getting us into a little bit of Booker T. Washington, some W.E.B. Du Bois. Don't worry about it. It's the Thurgood Marshall. We're about to go to a place that we're about to really start to open you. You want to know about blackness? You want to learn about your blackness? If you want to learn about some blackness, well, guess what? You came to the right damn place. I am Dean, baby. That over there is the Madman Los. This is Black of the Berry. Peace, love, and all the blackness in the world. We are out, people.